Hello, this is Berzinsky for Beardbrand Alliance. Today we're going to take this one mustache and do it two ways. Over the course of my time with Beardbrand, I've styled my mustache several times on camera, going through some of the more extravagant styles that you have used for competition. We had the Imperial, we had the Walrus, we had just a number of different styles. For day-to-day, I have three go-to looks. Actually, yeah, three go-to looks. And I have to say that this is not one of them. As I said before, I had cut my mustache short in the summertime, and it is growing back in a big way. And right now we have my mustache probably more accustomed to how people have seen it. So when I smile, you can't see my teeth at all. Which was one of the reasons I had cut it before, so you could actually see my smile. So this is my natural mustache. And this might be a look that I would wear on a weekend. I would rarely wear this to work. I have a desk job. I'm an architect by trade. And this is something that I probably don't wear to work that much. I prefer a little more control at the office. And so the two styles that I'm going to show you right now are the two styles that I would normally go to. There's nothing wrong with this mustache. I actually, kind of like this. It presents problems, as you've seen recently with Eric and food, that having a big mustache that hangs over, in my case, almost connecting with my beard, covering my lower lip, problem eating with certain foods, from hamburger to ice cream to just almost anything that's a little soup. Drinking, coffee, milk, anything, big mustache gets in the way. So I'm not going to put myself through that at the office. Whereas on the weekend, I might just go with this look and make sure that I had plenty of napkins or tissues along the way so that I can wipe off my mustache when I'm eating. So back to the tutorial is related to getting my mustache out of the way and the two ways that I primarily do it. So what I'm going to do is take my mustache, and beard is basically styled. It's pretty long. This is actually left over from yesterday. I'm just going to take a little water with my Beardbrand comb. And want my mustache. So if you jump out of the shower, you just washed your beard and your mustache. You're ready to go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a hair dryer. I'm actually going to use my comb. So the style that I'm doing here is taking my big mustache. Now I have a very predominantly large face, but mouth, and my mustache is really wide. So if you take a look at this, when I smile, my mustache is really wide. And so it's already kind of in your face, on my face. So what I'm doing, what I do sometimes is to not minimize the size of it, but so it's not so forward of a look. What I do is I take what would be considered the tails of my mustache, and I'm combing those downward. So anything that is going to go into the curl, the handlebar of my mustache, you can see these fairly long pieces here. These were not cut when I cut the short part of my mustache in the summertime. So I'm combing those down, and that's roughly about 1/3 of my mustache. So recommend to people that if you are growing a handlebar, that if you divide your mustache in the center, then take 1/2 of it, divide that into thirds. So 1/3, 2/3, 3/3. The first third on either side is generally what you're going to use for the curl in your mustache. So that's if you are cutting the center of your mustache. But even if you're not, a lot of guys' mustaches, the center portion will never reach the curl. Now I've experimented over the years. I've let my mustache go, You know, this will be the 5th year that I've had some type of facial hair, 7th year that I've had a mustache. And I have let this grow, and it has never gotten longer than 2 inches. Therefore, it has never met the curl portion of my mustache, no matter what I go, no matter what I do. So my mustache in the center goes terminal in about 2 inches. Some guys' mustaches continue to grow, but it's very rare. It's rare that you see a guy who is able to engage the center 2/3 of his mustache into the curl portion. They're out there. This guy's not one of them. It'd be great, actually, if you wanted to have an enormous handlebar mustache, and some guys do. The guys who win competitions on that whole circuit are able to engage almost all of the hair in their mustache into their curls, getting these big, wide, thick curls that they use. So back to the 1/3, 2/3 rule. So I'm taking the 1/3 portion of my mustache, I'm combing it straight down, and then taking this portion of my mustache, and that's going to be a small handlebar in my case. So on the other side, taking that 1/3, combing it down, and taking that over. Now you can see my mustache seems to be trained lately. Well, over the course of years, it's becoming trained a bit, and it more naturally falls into place. But with the aid of my hair dryer, and I'm not going to use a brush, I'm just going to use my comb, I'm going to actually push this hair out of the way to get it up above my lip. What I do with the hair dryers, which I've talked about before, I'm hitting it with medium high to high heat, not for a long period of time, till it is almost dry, but not completely dry. And what I'm doing is hitting that, and then I'm going to hit the cold button to set that into place. So I'm holding this hair up to get it out of the way of my mouth. So what I'm doing for my job is getting the hair away from my mouth. So it's a little bit, it's not as distracting. So that pushes the hair out of my mouth. I don't want it swung up like that per se. That's a look you can have. So with that out of the way, I'm combing this hair back down and then taking that 1/3, engaging it into my beard and letting the 2/3 just form the mustache. So this is something that you can do if you have a predominantly wide mustache, or if you want small curls and you have these long tails. So a lot of guys say, hey, I want a big mustache, but what do I do with these curls if I don't want to be rocking that big mustache all the time? This is my go-to if I want the expression of a little bit of handlebar without having the massive show handlebar that I often wear. So you can try that. Now this will be dependent on how much hair you have in your mustache, how long the tails are, and how short the sides, how short the middle is. I've found this current length of mustache that I have pretty much to the bottom of my lip with the longer tails actually to be the most versatile for me. Because I can brush this out of the way where the short handlebar, I can actually brush this out of the way and not have handlebars. So more of a just what appears to be a regular mustache. So that's the second look. I talked about getting 3 looks. It's actually 4 looks. I have a natural expression, I have the small handlebars, I have these coaxed in, and then I have the big handlebars. So for me, this is a good length of a mustache to give me the most versatility. So I can do that walrus look, very natural, carefree kind of look, and it's really carefree. It's wash and wear for me. I have this look where I have the small handlebar, a little bit of style, completely combed in, or a big presentation mustache. You can see that I was blowing this out of the way, but there's still some hairs that hang down. Now the temptation is to cut those hairs. And what you want to do is to control those hairs with styling. If you continually cut those stray hairs, which I've talked about all the time, that's my mantra, do not cut stray hairs. A stray hair today will not be a stray hair tomorrow. So what you want to do is you want to coax those in, and that's where you're going to use your styling products to get those hairs to fall into line. Just take a little bit of styling balm, and we're talking a little bit here. Put that on the underside of my mustache, mostly, and a little bit onto the point of the small curl that I just made. Let's call that look number one. I'm not using wax. You could use wax or styling balm. I like a little softer look there. If you want it really tight, you can get your wax. Warming it up, as we've talked about before, either with your fingers, putting it in your pocket, putting it under your arm, running it under hot water. You can get the wax warm, and then take that wax, and actually you can apply it directly if it's warmed up to your mustache to make that curl. So that's one look. So I still have these long tails that at times I want to express as a big handlebar. So you can, you know where your mustache stops. It's in the corner of your mouth. Typically, as we've talked about before, not below the crease of your mouth. So you can see all of that is available to make curl. In my case, these hairs are cut shorter than my beard, so it's actually pretty much, you can see what is not beard as I've let my beard grow long. It's pretty easy to see the distinction between what is my mustache and what is my beard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my hair dryer, I'm going to take a round brush, not touching the center, which I've already styled in the middle. Just going to make these slightly wet. Some guys will take just this natural hair in its natural pattern, put a little bit of styling product on, let that go. My hair texture is a little different from one side to the other. So I'm just using a little bit of heat and my round brush to bring a little bit of control to balance them out. As you can see there, it doesn't take any time at all to do that. If you have very curly hair, it might take a little time to pull that out, but what you saw is I'm rolling that up and pulling it away. Rolling it up and pulling it away in the direction of the curl that I want. And so this is something that you can do and leave natural, or if you want hold, and I'm sure you do with that, you're going to come back in with your styling products. Let me do the other side. So this would be fine. This is not going to stay all day. This is just going to end up fraying, falling apart. So that's where I'm going to come in with my mustache wax. Warming up the end of this, and I'm going directly to the hair here. Using my finger underneath the support, and then putting on the mustache wax. What do we got here? Temple Smoke smells great. I love putting mustache wax. Even if I'm not styling my mustache, I like putting mustache wax, especially in the Temple Smoke or Old Money, under my nose, because it's very fragrant and I actually like smelling it. Sometimes I'll put styling product on my hair and I can't smell it. Other people say, when they get close to me that they can smell it. I can't smell it as much as I can when I put it under my nose. So with mustache wax, you're heating it up. Now, one thing you want to do or not want to do with mustache wax, you're not going to heat that up. It's already soft on your beard. You're going to let that dry. You can hit it with cold air. Even the cold air on a hairdryer is still warm. So a lot of times it's actually best just to let it naturally dry. So that'll get a little solid. Beardbrand's mustache wax, medium hold. But this will get me through the day. When I'm wearing my mustache like this, I will take my mustache wax with me. I'll go into the bathroom at lunchtime, check it, see how it's doing, maybe reapply and make sure the points are holding together. But that would be look number 2. So we have the natural mustache, then we have the short mustache, and then we have this longer mustache. And a lot of people do not realize that I have that much hair wearing this, as I'm wearing this mustache, as I do when I'm wearing this one. So for me, I get versatility, my current mustache length, with the 3 different looks: the natural, short handlebar, long handlebar. So tell me below what your preference is. Do you like the natural? Do you like the short handlebar? Or do you prefer a large presentation handlebar? Comment below and let me know. And I hope you have good luck in styling your mustache. Until we meet again.
Stop. Before you watch the next video, let me tell you, you are worth it. And what do I mean by that? I mean that you deserve to invest in yourself. You deserve to pamper yourself. You deserve to take care of your skin, your hair, your beard, and Beardbrand has your back with products, not just for your hair, your beard, and your skin, but also for your mind.